What's up, guys? I hope y'all are doing extremely well. We're back with part 3 of our drum replacement, drum augmentation video. In the last video, we're going to go over here to Pro Tools. In the last video, we went in and we created audio files for all of the drums we replaced, the toms, the snare, the kick, things of that nature. So what we're going to do in this episode is I'm going to show you how I set these drums up to mix, and we'll get a quick little starter mix on these drums to kind of get you going, give you some tips on headroom and things of that nature. So we're only going to focus on the drums today. When we finish production on this song, I'm actually going to do a video, and y'all can walk through the entire mix with me. Once again, this is Mr. Carlos Torres, goes by Charlie Towers. I forgot to put it up on the last video, but I'll make sure I put his picture and everything up here, and a way to get in contact with him, or to, his Instagram feed and things of that nature. He's been really awesome, and letting me. He's been super instrumental and awesome in helping me out, letting me use his music. So we thank him for that. But yeah, so here's what we got. This is just the drums. Let's see. I have the original drums muted, and this is just the replaced drums. So what I first like to do is to get all of my drums that are alike, like all of my kicks in the same folder, all of my toms in the same folder, all of my snares in the same folder, the overheads in the same folder. So we're just going to go through and do that real quick. So we got a kick in, that's the original. We got a kick in, we got a kick out down here somewhere. We got a kick out right here. Pull that up. And then our replaced kick, which is right here. Pull that up. Put that right here. And then I like to go snare next. So we do snare top, snare bottom, then snare sample. We'll go snare top, snare bottom, then we'll put the snare sample in there. So give me just a second, let me get these organized. We're gonna speed the video up real quick. On the toms. Quick note, we may or may not use the toms that were recorded. I don't know yet. We will see. And put these in there. Tom 1, Tom 2, and Tom 3. Then I like to go with my hi-hat, my overheads. Right now I have them in a stereo file already. Let me turn this drum group off. There we go. And they don't sound bad. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back to Unity. All the drums back to Unity. Okay, so before I was mentioning folders. So what we want to do is create what's called routing folders. So I'm going to delete this folder that I created earlier. I'm just going to delete that real quick. Dialog box will come up. I want to keep the tracks that are inside of it, so I'll keep those. Now we just have our drums. We have some other stuff down here, but we're not worried about that right now. We're gonna probably end up hiding this stuff just for. Gonna hide it. We're not gonna make it inactive. We're just gonna hide it. That way, all we see is the drums. Okay. Okay. So my kick in, kick out, kick sample. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a folder. You right click, you highlight all of them by holding Shift, and then you right click and go down to Move to New Folder. I'm gonna make this a routing folder. Call it Kick. It'll create me a folder, and it creates a and it creates an input already, but I don't want to use the one that's .1. I want to use the one that I've already created. So there's kick. We'll close that up. And then the snare, do the same thing. Move to new folder. Call this snare. It'll be a routing folder. But the difference between a routing folder and a basic folder, a routing folder acts kind of like an auxiliary send. You can put inserts on it, EQs, compressors. You can send it to different places like a bus or whatever. So I'll create that. There's a snare. Make sure we change that input to snare, which is good. One thing I want to mention, you need to go in to your folder and make sure that all of your, it doesn't do this automatically. It creates the track, but you have to go in and do your routing. So I'll make those all go to my kick. Do the same with the snare. But bus, snare. Okay. Uh-oh, my snare sample didn't go in there. That's easy fix. All you do is just drag it up in there. Now it's in there. You can go in and make sure it's going to, your output's going to the right place. So we'll close that up. And then our toms, we'll do the same thing. Move to new folder. Routing folder. Toms, TMS. Almost like TMI. No? Okay. So we'll create that folder. We're going to click all. Then we're going to select them all. Make sure they're going to the right place. Toms. There we go. And then everything else will be considered ambient or room. Okay, so I'm going to make this, let's just call it ambient. Move to new folder. Drum ambience. There we go. I'm going to hit create. Go in, select those, make sure they're all there. Option, bus, drum, ambient. There we go. Now, all of our drums, the respective instruments, you got kick, snare, toms, and the ambience, which are your overheads and things of that nature. So now what you want to do is you want to send all of those folders to a drum bus so that you have all of your drums. At that point, you can treat your drums like a single instrument. But before I do that, there's one thing I want to make note of. I use parallel compression, so I'm going to go ahead and set up an auxiliary. Make it stereo auxiliary. I'm going to name this parallel 1. I always do that. I don't know which compressor I'm going to use. I normally use an 1176, but so I'll go ahead and preload that, but I will make it inactive for now. And I've already got a bus structure kind of set up, parallel 1. There we go. And normally I like to send the snare, the toms, and the kick to parallel compression. I don't really like to parallel compress my overheads. I do that compression at a track level. So first thing we're going to do is look at this kick and see if we can get a good blend and whether or not we actually want to use the original kick. Because remember, we've got the original drum sound in the overheads and in the room. So right now we're going to make sure that we want to use the kick. So I'm going to solo the kick in. It's got some bleed. Let's set the kick out. Not as much bleed there, it's kind of boxy. Let's listen to the kick sample. Okay, I'm just gonna use the, I'm gonna make a decision. I'm just gonna use my kick sample. Now let's check it with the overheads to make sure that it is not, that it is in phase. One thing, the way you do that, you solo your overhead, solo your kick. You come in here and add a trim plugin. That's what I like to do. Add a trim plugin. Come on. Wherever it's at. It's under, where did I put it? Where is my trim plugin? Where is my trim plugin? That's crazy. Should be here. But it's not. It's not under reverb, obviously. Harmonics. It shouldn't be there. Let's see where it's at. I'll have to find it. We'll find it eventually. Girls, be quiet. It should be under other. I wonder if it's because it's stereo.
Can we have some of the tea now? Can we go in my noodle? We kind of.
No, go in there. Eat what you got. Let's see. What's your mono plug-in? Let's see what's in here. That is crazy. I can't find my trim plug-in. There it is. Okay, so there's my trim plug-in. Okay, so you go into your trim plugin, you play your overheads with your kick sample. And when you click the phase flip button right here, pull it over here so you can see it. When you click the phase flip, you'll hear it'll either get really thin or it'll have a little more bottom end, or there'll be no change. If there's no change, it's in phase. If it gets thin, it's out of phase. And so you want to choose whichever side of the coin is better. So to me, when I flipped the phase, it got thinner, so I'm not going to worry about it. So there's that. Now, next thing I like to do when I'm setting up a mix is go down here to my master track, and I will put a VU meter on. And I keep my VU meters, the headroom set to -18. It is a little quiet, but it gives you headroom. VU meters are great for measuring headroom. And what I want to do is I want my kick. Now we're just doing levels right now. We're not doing anything, any compression or anything like that. I want my kick drum to be hitting around -7. And then when you add the bass, I want it to be around I want the bass and the kick together to be around -3. So part of the drum mix, I guess, would be the bass, at least to get an initial level. So we're just going to play and watch our VU meter and put our kick at the right level. So I'm going to solo the kick. Make sure that my output is right. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so now it's a little bit over -7, but let's see what happens when the bass comes in, when the bass is there. All right, so I'm gonna give my kick a little bit of trim here, a couple dB. One thing about the way I mix is it's all relative to what you want in the mix. Okay, so to me, that kick is sitting in a pretty good spot with the bass guitar. So I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna go to my next thing, snare. We're gonna do the same thing. We'll probably end up using some of this. We'll keep our VU meter on down here so we can hear it. Let's solo that top. Snares, that top's got some body. We're gonna see what the bottom does. Okay, we're gonna go in here also and check the phase. Normally you have to flip the phase on your bottom mic, so I'm gonna go in here and check it real quick. Put the trim plug-in on. And let's see what happens whenever we flip the phase. Did you hear the bottom end change? The bottom end got really prevalent there, so. I like that. We'll keep that for now. Just remember, we're just setting levels. Let VU meter back up. That sample hits pretty hard. It gets a little wonky, so. Okay, so let's keep all those. Now we'll probably have to bring the actual snare down just a little bit. Now let's take that group. Still a little hot. I want to pull it down some. Let's see how our overheads fit in right now. All right, I'm liking where the overhead's sitting as far as level goes. Let's see what our hi-hat's doing. It's important too to try to listen to your overheads and pan stuff where the picture you captured is. I believe I did this in audience perspective. Alright, let's get the room worked in real quick. I'm gonna just ride it up. I don't know why that's there. I'm gonna take that off. I don't know why those are. I don't know why that's doing that. Oh. I don't want that there. Cut up. Oops. Don't want to do that. Let's just pull this back. Quick way to do that. Pull that all the way back. I don't know why that automation is there. It's off. It's off. Okay, cool. So let's pull our room up and see what that's doing. Just gives it a little depth. I like that. Okay. Now, toms. Let's look at toms. Now, we've already got a good bit of toms in the overhead, so I'm actually going to just make a decision. I'm going to use these sampled toms. And one thing you want to listen for is, once again, where they're at in the mix in the overhead. So I'm going to solo tom 1. And tom 2. Or I'm going to solo tom 1 and the overheads. Okay. I'll go up here to a section where we got a tom hit. We got a tom hit. Let's mute our sample really quick. That tom 1 seems to be over to the left slightly. So now we can solo it. A little too far, I think. That's about right. And pull it down some. Yeah, we'll pull it up just a tad. Okay. I like where that one's sitting. Let's listen to tom 2. It's over here to the, I think I might have my, we did drummer's perspective. Yeah, so. Goes over to the right a little bit. Like that. Okay, this is to our floor tom now. And pull it down a little bit. Okay, I like that. Spread out real nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna deactivate and hide the things that we're not using. Hide, make it active. You always want to try to keep your session cleaned up. Okay, so in the kick, I think you were just using the sample, so we'll make those inactive. Hide, make it active. The snare, we're using the whole thing. Using all those. In ambience, we're using all those. So let's pull that up. So now we have our whole drum kit. Look at our VU meter. The goal really is to have everything hovering around 0 dB on your VU meter as far as your gain staging goes before you're adding plugins or before you're adding EQs or compressors, because you want that headroom to be able to move around. I can actually probably pull the bass up just a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna start doing some corrective EQ. Let's go up here to the kick, solo it up. What I like to use is a SSL channel strip. I love the SSL channel strip. So we'll go down here to the I'm gonna use the UAD version SSL-E channel strip. I like it. It's really nice. Like the way it works, because we can give it some drive, we can do all kind of things, we can tighten up if we want to. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is dial in a little bit of EQ. I'm going to get some attack out. Just a little bit of that. I'm going to take some of the boxiness out. One thing I like to do is just turn up my gain, and I can sweep. Right around there. I'm pulling a few dB of that out. I like to go in and give it about a 50 to 60 hertz boost a little bit. Do a little bit of compression. I'm going to use the fastest release. I want about 3 dB of compression.
Daddy, Pepe the Wii might have the tower game. That means that would all of that game called Pepe the Wii in one of my games.
That's fine. Y'all, I'm busy.
Pepe Dowdy in the back.
Okay. Sorry, I got daughters. So a little bit of compression there. There's a little bit of rumble. I think I might want to tighten up a little bit. That's super subtle, but I like it. I like it. We're going to go with that. We're going to head to my snare. Everybody says don't EQ in solo, but if you're doing some sculpting, I believe it's okay. So I'm just going to use the same plugin. Gonna head to my UAD channel strip. Okay. Turn the equalizer in. Get some attack out. Yeah. Take some of the low mid out. Want to see where that's boxing. Get some compression too. Probably turn that snare bottom mic down just a tad. Let's do that. Okay, I like that. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's go over here to the toms now. A lot of the EQ that I start with on my drums, a lot of it is well, not that. A lot of it is the same starting points, and then I just adjust as I need to. Let's pull the SSL back in here. This is based on an SSL 4000, by the way. So let's find where some toms are hitting good. Close my snare out real quick. Find out where some toms are hitting. Now I do like to EQ my toms with everything else. Give the toms a little bit of 100 hertz boost. I like the black. Give them some compression as well. I love the compressor on the SSL. That floor tom can come up just a tad. Now our kick is kind of making our VU meter go crazy, so let's pull it back a little. We can pull the toms down. Alright. Now I'll go to my snare, my kick, snare, and my toms, and I will send those to my parallel compressor. Now, how much of that I'm actually going to pull in the mix, I don't know yet. So let's just send it. Send a healthy amount for each one. Let's see what that does. Make active. I like to start all in about 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock here. You can obviously see that gave it a lot of punch. I guarantee you, if we pull up our VU meter, it's doing something crazy. Let's see. it's clipping out. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pull the parallel compression down and we'll ride it in. Oh, I like that. Okay, here's with. Here's without. It just loses some life, you know, so. Here's with. We'll put a little bit of compression on the drum ambience channel here, but we'll just use something super subtle. We're gonna use I'm gonna use an SSL bus compressor. We might do, well, let's just use a channel strip on it too. Let's go with the regular SSL channel strip. Yeah, let's go with that. Put some compression on it. Ever so slightly. A little bit longer release time. I like that. I like where we're at with that. Okay, so that's how I start my drum mixes. Like I said, once we finish production on this song, it won't be too long. We'll do a full video on a full complete mix. I'll have everything organized and I'll let you guys walk through with me kind of my process and how I get a song mixed and ready to print and ready for master. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and follow me and share this video. I really want to help as many people as possible. Once again, thank you to Carlos for allowing us to use his music. And yeah, don't forget we have the Waves plugin series coming up pretty soon. I've started working on it recently. So yeah, guys, have a great day and God bless you, and I hope that your music comes out way better than you expected, and I hope I'm helping, and I hope you're learning something. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.